This type of cough syrup is highly recommended, if only for its taste. If I was actually taking syrup for a cough, this'd be what I'd buy, because it's so much easier to swallow. From about 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. went to Shoppers Drug Mart in a nearby mall, bought a box of Robitussin honey cough syrup, as I had seen the previous day. Medicinal ingredient. Each 5 ml contains dextromethorphan HBr 10 mg. Non-medicinal ingredients. Flavors, glycerin, honey, liquid glucose, methylparaben, propylene glycol, sodium benzoate, water. Cost just over $9 Canadian with taxes for the 115 ml bottle. I stopped in at Music World. It's full of shit, so they had nothing worthwhile. So I then went to HMV, looked around, spotted the electronica section, remembered someone saying DXM enhances music like that very well, and grabbed a Massive Attack CD, Blue Lines, approximately 7:25 p.m. Just ate dinner, KFC, bland gravy, and decided to have a go of the stuff. Called a friend to check the conversion rate from 2 ounces to ml, turned out to be about 1/2 the bottle. So I poured a glass of milk, guzzled down half the bottle, tasted like honey, but with a bitter backing, and the same aftertaste as cough syrup, then drank some of the milk. I've heard the trip doesn't start until about 1/2 hour after taking it, so I'm waiting. Incidentally, this is around a second plateau dose, perhaps a little lower. If you don't know, there are around 5 plateaus. The 5th is, generally, death or a coma. Not fun. Not to scare you off, you'd have to have quite a lot to achieve 5th. 7:55 p.m. I'm just watching some kids in the hall right now. Nothing yet. I'd try to concentrate on any effects and enhance them, but I'm afraid of creating a placebo effect, something that tends to happen to me with many drugs, including caffeine and alcohol. My heart rate may be speeding up. I didn't time it earlier, so I don't know. I seem to be getting distracted by other things more easily, and I become very engrossed in them. It's hard to type a text file like this winking face. I'm putting my new CD on. I just looked at my watch. It's only 8:05 p.m. I thought it'd be later than that. Then I realize that little time has actually passed. It just seemed to take a long time. Neat. 8:35 p.m. While talking to MMLJ online, I polished off the other 3/5 of the 115 ml bottle, since I had no effects so far. Still nothing. What am I expecting? Intense audio and visual effects, but that's expecting a lot. After all, DXM is much more like ketamine than it is like shrooms, LSD. I just remembered, it's 10:45 right now. That while talking to MMLJ time went much faster than earlier, when it seemed to be taking forever. 9 p.m. It seems really easy to concentrate on one thought, or one thing. I noticed this when I realized I was thinking about absolutely nothing, just sitting here, listening to the music. Of course, that state is impossible to return to on purpose. You're too busy trying to not try to succeed. Parents just got home. Let's see if I can still talk all right, shall we? Incidentally, I had no grapefruit juice. Apparently it enhances DXM trips. I won't know this time, I guess. 9:05 p.m. I talk just fine. Standing is a bit of a problem, as I sort of sway a bit. But I'm weird normally, so it goes unnoticed. Let's see how well I do at some computer games. First up, 4D stunt driving. Good game. DOS-based graphics though, so you know. Let's see. Results. No better than usual, and no worse. The course seemed to take forever to drive, though. Next game. Lemmings. The original, bitches. Results. Same as usual, again, except I'm seeing things, minor eye trickery similar to when you're awake too long, like I saw a 10 as 11. Friend called, playing Command and Conquer. I'm thinking real clearly though, games aren't affected. 10 p.m. I'm really dizzy. I just sneezed, and I got a weird pulsating feel, like a headache that didn't hurt. It's cool, but if I look around too much I get really dizzy. 10:30 p.m. Still really dizzy. Lost the ability to get distracted and then very engrossed in things. Just dizzy right now. 10:37 p.m. I just tried masturbating while in this state. Very odd feelings. Until I came, I was pretty much just numb. I stopped at one point, and realized my penis felt the same as a finger. Nothing erogenous about touching it. When I came, it was a sudden, intense orgasm, very short. It started just before I ejaculated and it stopped just after. When it was softening, it felt very numb around the head. Like if it was numbed by a dentist, but not cold. 10:45 p.m. I just discovered that if I put one hand in front of my face so it divides the TV screen in half, then move it left and right, and screen looks like it's warped, or warping. I am thinking perfectly clearly, my body just is ignoring me to a certain extent. I still type just as quickly as normal, with the same accuracy. In fact, I think I'm typing faster than normal, but how can I tell? My perceptions of time are rather warped. I am still as grammatically competent as ever, and my vocabulary doesn't seem to be shortened. However, my body is feeling very dizzy, and sometimes I type a suffix onto a word without thinking, like worden instead of word. It's odd, because I don't realize I typed it at all unless I read over it. Just now, I thought I saw the screen scrolling, as if I were on IRC. Odd, since this is a text file. Also, I highly suggest you jump around while high on DXM. Occasionally I get the feeling that I'm hovering in the air. For some reason while typing this I'm rocking from left to right. Perhaps the music? Just now, I thought that my mind had become totally clear of thoughts, but then I realized, no it hadn't. It was very odd, the thought came out of nowhere, and it was based on nothing. Incidentally, I don't suggest you close your eyes and move your head up or down quickly. This might make you fall right over. It didn't me, but I've had the effect happen to me many times, simply as a result of being tired, or possibly while drunk. Perhaps I'm not thinking as clearly as I think I am. Perhaps I will lie on the floor for a little bit. In the dark. I should go get a candle. That'd be cool. I never did go get a candle. I decided I didn't want to set the house ablaze inadvertently. Ed. 10:57 p.m. Simply put, holy shit. Holy fucking shit. I just lay down in the dark, listening to the CD, and I got this really, really intense feeling of having discovered something very important and very deep. As soon as I got up to type it, though, I forgot. I am playing in God's domain, and I never wish to return. I am in heaven. I cannot find words to express the raw beauty of what I am feeling. It is like being in love. In love with the world. I feel in touch with everything. There is energy building up in me. I have something to say, but what it is, I'm not sure. This is, easily, the weirdest thing I have ever said. Ed. By the way, I remembered what happened while on the floor. I felt like something inside me, soul, came to mind. It moved to the top of my body, and was pressing on my skin, trying to get out. I wonder if I was getting close to an OOBE? Or perhaps this is just a combination of what I have been studying in physics, how electrons move and are attracted, repelled, that combined with my deep spiritual belief. Excuse me. I'm going down for another dip in this pure, intense, raw pleasure. 11:10 p.m. I just took control over my nervous system. I was lying on my stomach, and I could feel my heart throughout my entire chest. Then I decided, I wanted to feel it here, and I did. Then I tried to move the feeling to somewhere else, and it moved. I could move my heartbeat anywhere in my chest, and the top of my stomach. I'm waiting for my friend, who I just called, to call back, so I can tell him about this. I'm in love. I'm in love with DXM. I'm in love with everything. Thanks, Slipknot. Thank you very much for canceling. I also, while lying on the floor, forgot that my eyes were closed. I just remember because I wanted to make sure I didn't fall asleep. Turning the monitor on and looking at it from above, it looked like a dusty, rocky pathway. Very neat. Down I go. I'm back up for a second, just to relate an odd thing that keeps happening. You know when you look at a bright light, then look away, you can see it imprinted on what you see, sort of greenish colored? And, if you look at a bright light, then turn it off so you're in the dark, you see it as being darker than the area around it. Well, I keep seeing a rectangle like that when I open my eyes. As if when I close them, I am seeing the bright light, then I open them and it's imprinted on my vision. Down I go. Approximately midnight I was lying next to my phone, and I thought, I hope it doesn't ring, it'll surprise me, and it suddenly rang so I answered and yelled at my friend, don't do that to me. On the phone with some friends. I keep interrupting them, and I don't realize it. Definitely not a social drug, if you're stopping people from being social, huh? Winking face. They don't seem too impressed that I drank cough syrup. They seem to put it in the same category as huffing, stupid, and not a real drug. I will have to convince them otherwise. Not, of course, to try to get them to take DXM. Just so they know. And now, I will return to the floor, and probably awake next morning. Hopefully I won't be too sticky, sleeping on plastic. 11:15 a.m., next morning. I couldn't sleep. Whether it was the music, or the pillow, or the hard floor, I don't know. I doubt it'd be caused by the DXM, since when I ventured over to my bed and got in, I was asleep almost right away. No hangover of any kind.